Hello, everybody. Um, I'm finally back. I know it has been forever since I last recorded a vlog, but let's just say a lot of stuff has been happening for the past few weeks. Um, and it's so major that I haven't been able to record any vlog for a while. So I figured in this video I'll be elaborating on all that had happened to me and why I haven't been able to record for a while. A lot of you guys might be worried for me because I haven't recorded a bit, but I'm back. I'm alive. I'm thriving. And I should be ready to start recording videos again. I kind of miss doing that, recording vlogs and stuff. And I miss being able to talk to all of you guys. So yeah, I'm glad I'm finally back. And I'll tell you all what happened. So back in May, I don't remember the exact date, but last month, in May, an accident happened. So basically, I was getting off the bus, and then my right ankle, gave out on me. It twisted inwards, and I fell down the last step. So basically, my entire lower leg is entire lower leg is broken. My right leg. So I'm kind of immobilized at the moment. I haven't been able to walk properly or put any weight on my right ankle for almost a month now. And I still can't put any weight on my ankle until the 1st of July. So it might be a while. So yeah, I broke my leg, and I had to be transported to the emergency room in the at the hospital in Pontiac, and I had to be in a wheelchair. And that same day, while I was at the hospital, I had to have surgery. So basically, I got knocked out with anesthesia, and they basically had to twist my ankle back into place and put a splint on it. Thank God I was knocked out for that, because that would have been agony. Well, before that, they had to, do x-rays, all that sort of stuff. And turns out I broke like 6 or 7 bones in my lower leg in like 3 or 4 different spots. So I broke it pretty badly. I mean, it's not as bad now. I mean, my bones are slowly healing. But like I said, I still can't put any weight on my ankle until July. So, about another month or so. And after that, after I had the splint on, I had to keep it on for a few weeks, I think, about a week or 2. I don't exactly remember how long I had that splint on me. But I can tell you, my experience with the splint was torture. Because literally every day my foot was in severe pain. and I had to take pain medications, and they don't even kick in right away. So I've felt severe pain in my foot, and I could not bend my knee at all. So it was hard getting into the bathroom, and I had to take a wheelchair everywhere. We didn't always have a wheelchair. Caden, one of the classmates of my school, his mom let us borrow a wheelchair. It's over there at the end of my bed. Let me show you guys what it looks like. So you can see it. That's the wheelchair over there that Caden's mom let us borrow. It's not too fancy looking, but at least it works. It's done. That wheelchair's done wonders for us. I don't know if I don't even know if you guys can see it. And around a week or so later, I had to have another surgery to take the hard cast off. I had to go to sleep at like 7 because we had to like wake up at like 5 in the morning to get to the hospital. And basically the second hospital was a bit farther away. It's actually a children's hospital because everyone under 18, like myself, have to go to a children's hospital. I think that's kind of stupid because I'm 17 years old. Alright? And I am 17 years old. And I'm basically only a year away from becoming an adult, so I don't know why I still have to go to a children's hospital, but who cares? The law's the law, and I can't do anything about it now. And right now, I don't have to have another surgery for a while. I hope I don't get one ever again, but, you know. At least I now know that I won't have any surgeries for years to come. But yeah, I'm getting ahead of myself. So my second surgery, which was at that different hospital, had us taking the splint off and then putting these rods into my leg, these metal rods. And I like that other hospital better because when the first hospital knocked me out for my first surgery, when I first got the splint, it took me freaking forever to wake me back up. It's not even just the drugs alone. I guess it's the fact that with my autism, it takes longer for the drugs to wear off. And when I woke up, I never had surgery before. Hence, I never had to get knocked out. And so, I was a bit scared at first. But while I was under that sort of state, it felt like the bed underneath me was constantly moving, even when it was staying perfectly still throughout the whole surgery. And I saw like flashes of colors and flashes of random images. I couldn't make any out because I was knocked the heck out. And it felt like I was in a coma or something. When I woke up, it's like everything was all blurry, my movements were sluggish, my speech was slurring. Yeah, that was bad. But with when I had the second surgery at the different hospital, they had different stuff. I guess I should tell you, the process. So basically, both hospitals had this IV that contain the medicine that knocks people out, and they have to inject the IV into the arm to pump the medicine in, and they also put in this water-like chemical called saline, I think it prevents the blood from clotting around that area so that they could put the IV in. So they had to draw a bit of blood, and it was painful, but it's over relatively quickly. So both hospitals had the process. I think every hospital in the world, at least from what I know of, used that exact same process. So with the first hospital did so. The second hospital did the exact same thing. Nothing really changed. But the drugs they put me under different stuff. So when I wake up, I'm not as sluggish. My vision is normal. My body movements are as sluggish. My speech is normal. It just feels like... It only feels like I've taken a nap for a few minutes and then woke back up. That's literally it. Meanwhile, at that first hospital, it felt like I was waking up from a freaking coma. So, yeah, I like that other hospital better. I think that one's called St. Francis? Or was that the first hospital? I don't know. Every hospital nearby is owned by a Christian company because they own a lot of hospitals. They're a Christian company, so all their hospitals are named after saints. I remember one was called St. Francis, but I don't remember what the other one was called. I don't really remember which one was which. But yeah, I like that children's hospital better for their surgeries. So yeah, with the rods in, basically I had 4 rods in total in my leg. I had 2 rods near like the top of my leg, like where my tibia and fibula bones were, because my tibia and fibula bone is broken. And then I had 2 more rods dug into like my sides, the sides of my ankle just above my heels. Literally where the main spot of the ankle is. So, yeah. And I could finally bend my knee, but I still couldn't sleep. I couldn't sleep on my side. And, like a lot of the rest of you watching this video, I'm a side sleeper. I don't know why. I just felt more comfortable sleeping that way. And I could not sleep on my side at all. Unless I want the rods to dig deeper into me and possibly break more of my bones, which I do not want. I did not want. So that was bad. And every morning, my ankle was really, really, really sore. Like, it hurt badly. Because I subconsciously slept on my side, and I didn't even know about it because my subconscious is a douche. So I sometimes sleep on my side and not even know about it. So that, and all of a sudden, I was on like 4 or 5 different medications just for the pain alone, and every day I kept taking pill after pill after pill after pill. And, so that was pretty rough, but, it was relatively easy to deal with. And, and my third and my final surgery for now was to get the rods out and put the hard cast on. And, we went back to that same children's hospital, the one that's like 2 hours away. I think it's in Peoria, is where my parents said it was. But I still can't remember what the hospital was called. I don't know if it was St. Francis or if I'm just getting the 2 hospitals I went to confused. So yeah, I just now remembered it was in Peoria. So, yeah, we went back to the children's hospital in Peoria for my 3rd surgery. And, yeah, that was that. And I forgot to tell you guys that when I woke up, my throat for 2 of my final surgeries, my throat was really, really sore and dry because they had to shove this tube down my throat in order for me to breathe during the surgery. So, my throat would basically feel like it was on fire. So yeah, that wasn't the easiest to deal with, but at least it was tolerable, and I wouldn't have to feel it again for a while. So, so with the hard cast, I could finally sleep on my side. I could still sleep on my side now, with the boot on, which I'll talk about in a minute. So yeah, with the hard cast, I could finally sleep on my side, which was a ginormous relief for me. And I could still bend my knee, and my leg wasn't getting as sore anymore. So living with the hard cast was also pretty easy. After a few weeks, I had to wake up. Yeah, in case you guys didn't know, I forgot to tell you. With the hard cast being put on, I had to wake up even earlier than I did when I had to get the hard cast off and the splint off to put the rods in. I had to wake up at 3 in the morning. 3:30 in the morning. Yeah, that was early. Oh, goodness. But yeah, thankfully I don't have to wake up too early for a while. More, even ever. Well, except when I go back to school, but that's a different story. Because at least when I get up from school, I wake up at a decent time at 6:30 in the morning. Oh, yeah, that was not easy getting up. It certainly didn't help that it was so freaking, it was wet because it was raining the previous day pretty hard. So the railings are really wet. And I forgot to tell you guys that I have to literally get on the ground and scoot down the stairs on my bum. And then when I get to the bottom of the stairs, I have to get up again, hanging onto the railing, and Mom has to be right behind me with the wheelchair. So, yeah, that process was a living nightmare when I tried it for the first time. Thankfully, I'm getting better, even if it's still a little tricky because there's a mailbox right there and I don't want to hit anything. But thankfully, now that I have the boot on, it'll protect me from hitting stuff. So getting up and down the stairs should be easier now for me, even if it's still a bit tricky at times, especially if it's wet and rainy, which I hope it isn't wet and rainy. So, yeah, me and Mom are going to see the new How to Train Your Dragons live action in 3D, the theater, on Monday, which is next week. And I hope the weather's nice so that it'll be easy for me to get down the stairs. Because, like I said, getting down the stairs that one day when I had to put the hard cast on, it was not easy. But thankfully, I still got up there pretty easily. Like I said, I have gotten better, even if it's still, not fun, So, yeah. And, about a week ago, or about a week ago, I went to my orthopedic office, which is the office where my doctor was at. I think that was also in Pontiac, like the first hospital where I had my first surgery and stuff. So I went there, and I had the hard cast taken off, which I thankfully didn't have to be knocked out for that, because it isn't too painful, and it doesn't really take us too long, so I didn't have to be knocked out for that. So, yeah, like I said, no more surgeries for years to come, and I am so, so happy about that. I literally am. So, I'll now be talking about what I'm wearing right now. My walking boot. So what you see here, you guys probably also saw the picture in the thumbnail too. So just trying to see. Here it is, my walking boot. Though it's also known as an air cast. I like to call it walking boot because, come on, it literally looks like a boot. So yeah, it's a walking boot. and you can see like the straps and kind of this big metal plate here, and these flaps right here. The insides are made of Velcro, so it's relatively easy to just flap them over. And then we put this plate here, which I don't really know what this is for. I guess it's to kind of, keep the flaps from moving. And these straps to keep this on. And this little black thing here is actually one of Josh's really, really long socks. Because, he has to wear braces a lot when we go somewhere or when we have to walk around. He has to wear the really long socks because it goes over his braces. So this is one of his socks. We used to use a white compression sock, but it got to the point where it got like a little tight, and it left marks on my foot when we took the boot off. I didn't really feel the tightness, but it looked tight, and neither me or Mom liked that because it might screw up the healing process somehow. So me and Mom settled with one of Josh's socks, and it really works because his socks is the exact same length as the compression sock, and it's a bit more comfortable. You see, what we used to have to do is put on the compression sock, which was not painless. It wasn't too agonizing, but it was really painful because it pulled on the skin a little, and it tears a few of the scabs off, the wounds on the socks, so it kind of hurt. It especially hurt the first time we put it on, but it got more tolerable over time, even if it's still a little annoying. So yeah, we put the compression sock on, and then we took one of my socks and then put it over the foot to make it more comfortable when we put the boot on. But now that the compression sock got too tight, now we only have on one sock because it kind of acts as a compression sock and a regular sock at the same time. So it really helps. And now I feel more comfortable, and the sock is pretty light. It's not too tight, and it works a lot better than the compression sock. I really like it. And I would show you how nasty my foot looks, but I'm not allowed to take this boot off unless I go to bed. So maybe tomorrow night, when the boot gets taken off, I'll post another video to show you guys the wound, and it's not pretty. it's not too pleasing to look at, let's just say, especially if you don't like the sight of dried blood or nasty looking wounds. So just warning you about that right now. And also my bed is lower because my bed is relatively kind of high. So my mom took out one of the springboard that goes, that board that goes underneath the mattress that's kind of squeaky and made of springs. She took that out so that I can get onto my bed from the wheelchair easier now that my bed is lower, because I could just plop right onto the bed. So, she'll put the springboard back once my leg is fully healed. But until then, I'll be sleeping on a pretty low bed. But, I don't mind it. In fact, I think I've gotten pretty used to sleeping on such a low bed. So that's nice. And, that's, basically what happened to me. And, why I've been so absent. I guess I spent most of my time just recovering and focusing on myself and letting myself recover for a while. But thankfully, I should be back to making regular vlogs. And, that really makes me happy because I don't know, I'm generally pretty talkative and I generally have a lot to say. So I'm glad that I'm finally back to doing what I really love, and that is recording vlogs for you guys. So I think that's oh, and I almost forgot. I've got a few gifts. So basically, one day I went back to that first hospital where I had my first surgery for some x-rays. It was no surgeries. There were just some x-rays to check on the progress of my foot. And that was also back when I still had the metal rods in my leg. I don't know how they didn't mess up the x-rays. So, that was... Wait, was it? I think that was actually with the splint. I don't think it was with the rods. Because I wouldn't be able to twist my leg too much without the rods digging into my foot. So I think that was actually with the splint. So yeah, when I still had the splint, I went back to that first hospital for some x-rays to check on my progress on my foot. And, while I was doing those said x-rays, my mom, who went with me at the time, my dad was at work at the time, my mom went to the gift shop, and look what she got me. Look how freaking cute he is. So yeah, this is basically, like I said, every hospital in the area is a Christian hospital, and St. Francis, which I think is the name of the first hospital, was one of them. So they basically had him, this little guy, sitting in the window, and mom saw him, and she knew she had to buy this guy because look at him. He's a little billy goat. Look how freaking cute he is. Look at his his little beard here, and his horns. He's so cute. Look at that little smile. And he is so freaking soft. Like, he's probably the softest stuffed animal I think I ever had in my life. Literally none of my other stuffed animals are this soft. It's like I'm literally holding a cloud in my hands. And, I texted Miss Sarah when I got home from x-rays. In case you guys didn't know, I used to go to this Christian youth group every Sunday, and like Miss Sarah, who was one of my old teachers when I went to Miss Reamer's class, Miss Sarah and I were really good friends, and she was actually a church pastor in this big church in Coal City, where she lives now. And every Sunday she would pick me up from my house and we'd go to youth group together with Jude, her eldest son. Though sometimes, from time to time, her younger children, her other son Maxwell and her daughter Mackenzie, would sometimes come with us, although they're mostly a bit too young to come, so it was mostly Jude and these few other kids. I can't remember. I know Oren, who was one of my cousins, who also goes to the same school as me. He also sometimes comes with, and I can't remember some of the names of the other kids, because it has been a while since I've been at youth group. And we had a lot of fun. We'd play games, we'd sing songs. Like I said, it was at a church, so most of our songs were about, Jesus and all that stuff. And near the end, they'd preach to us for a little while, and then we'd separate into like groups, where we talked about the lesson we just learned, and do a prayer and all that stuff, and we'd have a lot of fun. We used to go to a friend, and her name is I think her name is Betty or Becky. I think her name is Becky. she's a friend of Miss Sarah's, and we go to Becky lives in this house in Coal City, near the church, and for our first few days, we went to her house and we played games, and we'd read a story, and yeah, it was a lot of fun. Miss Sarah recently moved to Coal City, so I sadly can't go to youth group anymore. But Mom still had Miss Sarah's phone number, and Mom gave me her phone number, and now me and Miss Sarah would occasionally text to each other a lot. Although she's pretty busy most of the time, so I don't get to chat with her a whole lot. But basically, when I got home from X-rays, I texted Miss Sarah for the first time, and she sounded pretty ecstatic to see me. And she asked me how I'd been, and I told her about my broken leg, and yeah, she is so freaking funny. I basically told her about my broken leg, and she asked me if I was practicing to do TikTok dance, which, first of all, I don't even record videos on TikTok. I record them on YouTube. So, and then I told her what happened, and she thought, oh, okay, I thought you were trying to karate fight a ninja, which, what? This Sarah is so freaking funny. She made me laugh, and she made Mom laugh too. Miss Sarah's a pretty good friend, always trying to use humor to de-escalate the situation, and gosh darn it, it works. And so, I told her all that happened, and how I just got home from X-rays, and then I showed her this little guy, sent her a picture, and I asked her what we should name him, and I wanted to name him Marshmallow. And it's a pretty cute name, and I figured since this Billy Goat, he came from a Christian hospital, and Miss Sarah was Christian, that we should give him a Christian name. And so Miss Sarah told me that she was reading about this guy named Barnabas, who was an old preacher. His story is a little complex, but basically to cut it short, he used to work in a church as a pastor alongside this other guy, which I can't remember the name of. And they basically worked together, but over time they started having disputes over certain ways to teach, and it got so bad that they now worked in separate churches, but they still stayed on good terms. So, if any of you guys out there are religious and can kind of break down the whole story, I'd really appreciate that, because I'm not really good at remembering big, complex stories. And by God, the stories in the Bible are possibly the most complex stories I've ever seen in my life. I actually, the people at the, basically the people at the church actually gave me a real Bible. I have it over there on my bookshelf, and I read a lot of it, and the Old Testament, and so yeah, basically this goat's name is now Barnabas, which actually is a pretty good name for him. It really suits him. He looks pretty old, wise, full of courage, and he's such a sweet little guy. He is so freaking cute, and he's so soft, and yeah, I really like Barnabas. And so yeah, I'm happy that I finally got to talk to Miss Sarah again. I don't know when I'll get the opportunity, because like I said, she's pretty busy most of the time, and half the time she can't even respond to my texts right away. So yeah, I might text her again soon if she's not too busy. I'm assuming she's probably off for the summer, so She probably has a lot of time on her hands, but then again, I don't know if she's doing like an event, or if she's at work or something like that, or if she's visiting a family member. I don't know, but I might text her again sometime this evening and see if she's busy. And if she is, I can wait. You know. So yeah, and also at the another hospital, I'm trying to see if I can. Also, my dad also got me something at a different hospital. I don't know. Oh, there it is. At that other hospital, I think it was when I got my third surgery. Or my second. I don't remember if it was my second or third surgery at that hospital in Peoria. But basically, while I was in surgery, my dad got me this little Highland cow from Beanie Babies at TY. It is a Scottish Highland cow. His name is Alfie. According to his tag, his birthday's July 20th, which is next month. I don't know how old he is. It doesn't specify. But I'm assuming since it's a Beanie Baby, it's probably pretty young. And there's a QR code in the back. I don't know what it does. But yeah, I have been getting better at, here he is. Look at his little tail. Cute. So here's Alfie. Alfie and Barnabas. Just went over there. So yeah, I have been getting better at scanning QR codes through my camera app on my phone. Basically, since I'm immobilized in my house for a while. When I've been immobilized in my house most of the time, I obviously couldn't go outside or go down in the basement or do anything too productive because I'm immobilized. So, I had to play games on Netflix. There is games on Netflix. And if you scan a QR code, then you can download that game. And you can also use your phone as a controller, which is awesome. The first game that I downloaded on Netflix is called Cozy Grove Camp Spirits. It's a game on Netflix that I found. So basically, I was in the living room one day, and I was browsing through Netflix for games to play. And I couldn't really find a lot that I would like because I'm kind of picky when it comes to what games I play. And then I found Cozy Grove, and I thought it looked fun, so I downloaded it, and it's so freaking fun. I don't want to spoil too much of it, but basically, it's about this kid named who you can name called the Scout, or Scout as I like to call him for short, gets lost in the forest after the bus crashes, and he meets all these characters. You can meet all these characters and complete quests, craft. Basically, it's kind of like a ripoff of Animal Crossing, but with spirit bears and cats. So yeah, Cozy Grove is really fun, and if you guys have a phone, and if you also have Netflix, I recommend Cozy Grove. It's a very fun and addictive game. Although I haven't really played it for a few days now. I don't know when I'll come back to it. Probably when I'm in the mood to meet spirit bears. And plus, I'll also be going to my backyard pool in a week because they wanted to wait 2 weeks for my incisions from my last which are basically cuts from my last surgery. They wanted those to heal so that they don't get infected. And also, my mom's gonna fill the pool a few days beforehand to let all the chlorine settle so that my leg doesn't get infected, because my boot will be taken off while I'm in the pool. And oh, and also, I forgot to show you over there at the far corner of my room, which you guys probably can't see too well. That over there is my walker. My grandparents. Basically, when my grandpa stayed the night with us, he brought over that walker because he's getting older. He's kind of having a bit of trouble walking, so he has to use that walker. So yeah, my grandpa, he brought over the walker, and I'll get to use it more when my leg heals up, because I'll have to take physical therapy soon for my leg to heal. Because my leg will probably still be really weak, so I'll have to attend physical therapy in July. So yeah, I never had physical therapy before, so I'm a little bit nervous of what it'll be like, but I'm sure it'll be fine. Just learning how to walk again. It probably won't be too difficult. Let's just hope the coach that'll be teaching me isn't too hard on me, because you know how rough coaches can be these days. So yeah, there's that. Let's see, do I have anything else to say? Oh, and also regarding the Netflix games, you can also download certain games from Netflix onto your phone. In fact, I think the only way you can actually download them is if you scan the QR code on Netflix, which is a bit more trickier, and I did struggle a lot with trying to get the app on my phone. So basically, I think actually the first game I downloaded I used my tablet, and I had to get Mom in here to help me. So basically, you scan the QR code, they give you a tutorial video on how to do it, but basically, you find a game that you can only download on the device. I don't know who's out there. Probably like a delivery or something. And that gave me a heart attack. So basically, you scan the QR code, and it gives you this. I think it gives you a link to scan it, and you scan it, and then you save the picture. At first, I tried that, and it didn't do anything. But then again, I didn't know at the time that because that QR code is now there, the app is now available for download. So, yeah, I had trouble with that. And the first app I used on Netflix was on my tablet. It's called Dumb Ways to Survive, which, I know some of you guys, do you guys know about the Dumb Ways to Die games? They were pretty popular. One of my little cousins, Atticus, played that game a lot when he was younger. And I didn't play it myself, but I saw a few other YouTubers play it, and it was pretty funny game. Dumb Ways to Die song is a classic. I think my mom might be coming in here. Maybe. Oh yeah, I think she did get a package. Because I heard a package falling to the ground. Yeah, she probably delivered. She probably bought something off Amazon or something. She orders from Amazon a lot. So, she probably got something from Amazon. That's why that doorbell was there. And, So, yeah, Dumb Ways to Die song is a classic. Um, and Dumb Ways to Survive is basically, like, I think it was made by the same company who made Dumb Ways to Die, which is cool because I didn't think I didn't think they'd be making another game, let alone one that's available on Netflix, because I don't think there's a Dumb Ways to Die series on Netflix, because, I mean, there might be. I might have to search for one. But, yeah, basically, I downloaded it on my tablet, and, I've been playing it. And I'm a pretty huge fan of survival games. I mean, don't get me wrong, they are hard, and I have died on survival games more times than I can count. I died, like, twice on Dumb Ways to Survive. But actually, it took me a bit to die because I was surprisingly good at it for my first run. I made it to 16 days, and I didn't die once upon my first few days of playing it. I guess because I'm a bit of a pro when it comes to survival games. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I am pretty good. And I guess I did have it on a pretty easy mode. Like, I had it on normal mode. I don't remember what the modes are called, but I was on normal mode and it was surprisingly easy. Basically, I hunted pigeons. It kind of works the same way as any other survival game. I think the characters are on their way to somewhere and their bus crashed down a mountain, and now they have to find the tires and basically get everything set up. But yeah, I've been playing it. Like Cozy Grove, Dumb Ways to Survive is also a pretty addicting game, especially since it's a survival game. Like, everything from the art style, to the sound effects, to, like, everything, the design of the whole game is just gorgeous. I'd really recommend everyone who loves Dumb Ways to Die, I recommend Dumb Ways to Survive. It's an amazing, such an addicting game. You guys are gonna love it. So yeah, and then the third game I downloaded from Netflix, which I downloaded on my phone, and it's like my third game. It's called Storyteller. A lot of you guys might know Storyteller, since it's a pretty popular game at the moment. But basically, you play these levels where you try to put together a story based on what a prompt tells you, which, guys, it's hard. Like, I'm literally stuck in this one level where this gremlin looking dude gets a kiss, and I'm only stuck with certain options that are not working, and it's so hard. And I might have no other choice but to find a tutorial on YouTube because it's so freaking difficult. So, yeah, there's that. Also, like I said, I'm stuck in this one level where this gremlin guy is trying to get a kiss, but I'm stuck with certain prompts that are not working. So, if you guys have any tips about how the heck I beat that level, then please let me know. But also, you don't have to, because I might just look up a tutorial on YouTube or a tutorial online if I can find one. So yeah, that game, Storyteller, is probably the hardest game I've ever played. Even harder than a freaking survival game. I know, that's surprising. A Storyteller game is literally harder than a survival game. That's impossible. That might be ludicrous to some of you. I know. I feel like surviving and being trapped in a dishwasher is probably easier than the Storyteller game. I'm not even joking, guys. But yeah, I think that's pretty much everything I wanted to cover in this video. Again, I severely apologize that I've been gone for so long. I feel bad that I had to leave some of you guys to worry about me. But don't worry, I'm finally back to recording vlogs again, so that's good. and I'll give you guys some updates on how I'm doing, because my leg is still broken and I'm still kind of immobilized. So I'll give you guys some updates about what happens. Like I said, me and Mom are going to go see the new live action How to Train Your Dragon movie in 3D, which is next week, so which is pretty exciting. I know I'm not really too much of a fan of the How to Train Your Dragon movies. I think I like the second one the best, but it's pretty interesting to see what it'll be like in 3D. So yeah, I can't wait for that. I also can't wait to go to the pool in a week. Because I'm getting pretty tired of being stuck in the house all day. So yeah, I can't wait for that. And yeah, like I said, I'll update you guys in any way I can. And with that, I'll see you guys tomorrow or tomorrow night, or whenever I start wanting to record again. Goodbye, everybody.